Hello guys and welcome to Life by Design. Today we're talking to Nora Salumu. She is the founder of a Living Soul organization. It is headquartered right here in Johannesburg, South Africa, but it also operates in the DRC, in Malawi and in Zimbabwe. So today she's talking to us about how she used her pain to get to a place of purpose. Welcome to Channel Africa, Nora, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Now, I understand that you're a native of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yes.
Where exactly in the DRC were you born?
Kinshasa, but I grew up born in Kinshasa.
And you are born to a big family.
Yes.
How many are?
We're 7. I'm the firstborn.
Wow. Big family, hey?
A very big family. Came in South Africa when I was just 2 years, so I've been there all my life.
Okay, so you grew up in South Africa?
Yes, I grew up in South Africa, in Johannesburg.
Okay.
Studied in South Africa, went to Bertram's Junior School, then went down to Aya Griffith, then Fendel High School, then Concord College, then Gauteng City College. So all my life.
And are you keeping in touch with the other family that remained in the DRC?
Well, we all here, my whole family. After me, there's 5 boys. Then the last one is a girl. My mom, my dad, we basically all here, yes. I'm in touch with my other family, my grandmom. I was in the DRC last year since I was ever born. I had a privilege, yes. I had a privilege to go back to the DRC last year to install.
And can you easily relate, seeing that you spent most of your childhood and your adult years in South Africa? How was it like going back home after such a long time?
Well, it was amazing, exciting. It was exciting, amazing, but the language. Okay, there it's all French, Swahili, and here it's all English, and we used to Zulu and Xhosa this side. When I got back home, it was like, okay, but I've got siblings that do understand English, speak English, so it was a complete communication there, except with my grand. I was forced to learn Swahili for just that 6 months I was in the DRC before my next move to other countries.
I like the fact that even though you haven't spent your life in the DRC, you've kept in touch with your roots through the kind of work that you are doing.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Wow. Living Soul organization. It's an organization that makes us soul a living souls, equip the young ladies, hopeful girls, the young boys, and visits the elderly that have been rejected by their own children. They feel unloved. We go to them, we share the love, we provide the necessary needs such as medical aids for them and grocery. And we also gather youth around South Africa or around Africa, whereby we look for a rural area and we go construct houses, build homes for the homeless. For example, we had an outreach last year, November, in the Mpumalanga, and it was just amazing. We usually go there for plus minus 3 weeks, and we just build home we've got a list, and we just show our love in a strong way. Our main aim or our main focus is to restore happiness, restore what a person have lost, or what, for example, if someone has basically given up and say, you'll find a young girl who'll be like, listen, I can't further my studies because I don't have financial, or I'm going through depression because I was somehow raped and left and right. And we tell them, listen, yes, you have tried. Why don't we give it a last try?
Yeah.
And we hold hands together and we restore that happiness and say, let's do a plan B way. So it's all about restoring, making a soul a living soul. So if you
restoring their dignity, so to speak.
Yes, making them feel bold and feel happy about themselves, to say, yes, I can stand again, I've got a future, and there's hope once again. So that's our own main focus, not just to the youth, but from youth to the elderly, because it pains our heart to see our fellow mom or dad being disrespected, being called witch and wizard. Why? Because maybe due to poverty, because and they just neglected, rejected. We just there to say, listen, we are here to be your daughter. We know
there's hope.
There is hope.
Now, you are headquartered in Johannesburg, South Africa, but you do not just cater to South Africans. Which other countries is the organization operating?
In Zimbabwe, Harare, in the DRC. In the DRC, in Lubumbashi, is known as Âme Vivante, which translates Living Soul Organization. Making a soul a living soul is feeding in Âme Vivante. In Malawi, in Blantyre. Okay, those are the 4 words: South Africa, Zimbabwe, Malawi, DRC, the 4 countries that the organization is installed registerly and officially function. And in the DRC, we work with kids that have been rejected, abandoned. You will find young girls that have been called, all this is all about rejection and love. They've been in the street from the age of 6 to the age of 18, 21, and that's their life.
So these are young girls that find themselves in prostitution?
Yes. Basically, you find this young girl who is 6 years. While you're on the road, my stepmom chased me out because I am the cause of their poverty. And you find that it's either stepmom or biological mom or just issues of ancestral, which is happening presently in Africa. And you find this girl, due to such depression, they get raped by big men, you know, get raped by 65-old men, and they just give them like 500 francs Congolais. It's like, but let me just say 10 rand. And they're now like used to it. Obviously, psychologically, mentality, it's damaged. They can't do anything. And I had the privilege to adopt 3 of them, which basically and presently stay with my granny in the DRC. I managed to do a social worker thing with their family. I went ahead looking for their family. I'll just share one story to this one girl. Her stepmom chased her away, lied to her and said, listen, this is not your biological father. We're not your parents, so you better go. This real biological father loved her daughter so much. The father worked, for example, in Cape Town, so he had to go all the way to Cape Town to look for money, which is Kolwezi in the DRC. And he went for the whole 6 months. When he got back, his daughter was no more. He asked the stepmom, where's my daughter? The stepmom came up with a lie, say that no, she ran away from school, we can't find her. The whole of whole area could not find this girl, but it was the stepmom that had chased her away. So imagine she was chased from the age of 6 to the age of 12, and it's only now that she was able to identify her home. And where we went, obviously they had moved out. We had to go look for where her parents were, and finally we got the family, and we had to hide her somewhere because out of fear she was scared, like, no, they're gonna hit me, they're gonna abuse me and those. And we told her, no, don't worry, you're not gonna go back to your parents, we're just gonna find out where are your parents,
just for her to know where the family was.
Yes. And finally we got the father, and the father was shocked. We're like, no, we've got your daughter. The father literally slept on the floor, popped into it, where is my daughter? I've been looking for my child for plus minus 5-6 years and I can't find her. And we're like, but how come you cannot find her?
She was chased away.
Yes. And the father said another story. No, I was at work, I came back, my wife, who's a stepmom to her, yes, I know she was abusive, told me that she was kidnapped and she's gone. And
that must have been very encouraging to have a result like that, and you actually
we basically restored.
See that the work that we're doing does bear some fruits. Here we were restoring families together.
Yes.
And I do understand that this cause is something that is very, very close to your heart, because we've got a personal story similar to that, but we'll talk about it right after this. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're listening to Life by Design right here on Channel Africa, where we're giving you news from an African perspective. Today we're talking to Nora Laini Salumu. She is the founder of Living Soul International Organization. It is headquartered in Johannesburg, South Africa, but they're also working in Zimbabwe, DRC, Malawi. So there's a lot of work that they're doing, covering some parts of the continent. Nora, thank you once again for joining us. So now I was saying that you've got a story to share, and that is the reason why you find yourself doing the kind of work that you're doing, living this life of purpose that you're living, because you experienced something very traumatic, and so your purpose was discovered through pain that you went through. Can you tell us about the thing that happened to you that made you to care so much about young girls that are being abused sexually and otherwise?
Wow, thank you so much. Once again, it is a privilege and honor. Who is Nora? I will just bring it that way. Nora is she's a bold young lady that never gives up and always stands for her family. She's from a family, she's the firstborn, and after her there's 5 siblings. She grew up in an abusive home, whereby her father was so abusive to her and to her mother. And they usually say poverty is indeed, I'll call it a disease. It divides automatically and completely divides families. And with me, it's living a life with so much pain, you know, getting abused. I never grew up with my dad. Basically, when I was born, my dad was arrested for my whole birth. So I was only able to see my dad at the age of 1 year. I'm a disabled. In which way? I'm a premature child of 7 months. Naturally, I was not born with the head, came out with the leg, and it's all complication. I was automatically lame. I could not walk from my birth to the age of 4 years. I started crawling at the age of 4 years, basically, and started walking at the age of 6 years. And at the age of 8 years in South Africa, my dad's younger brother was a drug dealer, and he got back home, and he thought I was my father's wife. You know, when you just unconsciously don't know what is in front of you.
He thought you were your father's wife?
As in my mother, okay. And he raped me, and I was 8. So seeing how I grew up.
And how long did this happen? For how long?
Since I was 8 years, and he did what he did. It was me, my younger brothers. My brothers were in the room. My parents had gone for a funeral, so they were not at home. So when he did that, he ran away. Where he ran, he thought he was smart. He went to his friend's house. My parents came back. They saw blood, everything. I could not explain. I could not say a word because I and my dad were never close. He would not even believe if I had to say to your brother. But he's, now my brother who comes after me went next door, They were trying to run after the guy. They saw him. The neighbors came in and obviously had to be rushed to the hospital. I was not myself, but what I can remember according to the story they told me, because just after the drama, I had collapsed. I was gone. I just woke up in the hospital, Helen Joseph Hospital, and since then it has still affected my life.
Did you undergo any counseling for it?
Yes, I did. My dad's younger brother was arrested. He's basically in Lindela police station, Lindela station, and he was deported to the DRC basically 2 years ago till date. It took 4 years for my dad to believe that it was his younger brother that did that, but after all, he still never showed the love. And poverty side, we will sleep without food in the house. You will just find that this kind of kids will never further their studies,
So now you go through the trauma that you went through. Your father didn't believe that it was his brother who did that to you, and you're not that close to him. And also there's poverty. So there was so much going on that you had to deal with.
Yes.
Did you find yourself trying to figure it out as to how you're going to make a living?
Yes, I had to, because now this is where we found young ladies making a choice due to circumstances, making a choice. And when I was in grade 7, I joined those drug dealers. I don't know, my brain is just too smart that my whole friends were just way older than me. I was so close to the Nigerian guys. And
were you introduced to them by friends?
Yes, friends. They took me as their younger sister. So I would basically sell their drugs for them. And, by selling it for them, I fell into it, started taking drugs when I was in grade 7,
Now, Nora, you would sell the drugs for them,
so
and with the money that you get, you try to put food on the table for your family.
Yes, so that's what I would do. So, yes, police will come, but obviously they will never search me because I was very young. No one will believe someone has searched me.
And what age were you now? 13?
I was 14 in grade 7.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing. And I would sell that, bring money, or buy food and bring food on the table. And I got in love with drugs that I started smoking and due to depression. Outside people never believed, but inside it was, I never showed my depression. I was very, secretly, they usually say if you don't get the love from your own biological family, how do you expect to get love from outside? That was the judgment conclusion for my life. Okay, if I never got the love from my dad, how will I get love from someone outside? So my dad, my uncle, all those things pushed me away from what we call love from any man, from anything. I prefer to get closer to you, but I prefer to get closer to you in a different way, but not in a relationship way.
Now here you are, you find yourself in that state, no love from the family, deep in a world of drugs, smoking, selling.
Inject myself.
Yeah.
At the age of 14.
You still love-starved. Did you find yourself then looking for love in the wrong places?
Yes. Because now I will turn 16 years old there, and you've got this group of girls, At home I was a complete tomboy, okay, because of the boys I grew up with. But at home, at school or with friends, you've got those young girls. I'm like, listen, you're smelling, you dirty. Let's teach you how we get our money.
How to be a lady.
How to be a lady. And my mom never taught me a pad. Okay. My dad, I never got what we called girly things. I am who I am, basically myself. I will use that. They introduced me into Hebrew, and I would sell my body.
So they introduced you to prostitution,
yes.
sex work?
Yes. I would basically sold my body and make money, and I would go to school. The time I was in high school, I would go to school, do my homework. At 6, go back home, change. 6 p.m. I'm on the road. Okay? Then 8, basically from 10 to 5, that's when I'll go home, and my parents will not ask. They'll ask me where you from. But when poverty covers the parents, all they see is money and the food. They will not even ask you.
Even if they were suspicious, they wouldn't discourage you, because that's the only way they can get a meal.
Yes, and they did not know I was doing that, basically, because it will be the last thing in their mind. For them, they know Nora is an active person, a player. Even if you had an interview with one of my parents, they will tell you that if you ask them to describe Nora, they will tell you Nora is talkative, a plentiful. You want something, she will get it for you. She knows how to look on your behalf. That was me. I don't like to see someone stress. As much as I know what it feels to live that kind of life. So I had to go through drugs, prostitution, all that, to take care of my siblings, to pay my school fees, to pay off my siblings' school fees, and take care of the family. So I was basically the mother, the father.
How long did this life last for?
My whole of high school. Then in matric, that was in Fendo, I sat down and I'm like, God, Kribona, university la. So how will I, how will I fed up my studies la? How? And I was so depressed. Suicidal for me was nothing. I take 9-5 cap mass. For me, it's basically seeing blood is the happiness of me. If I don't see blood in my body,
it was your way of releasing your pain.
Yes, because I felt drugs was doing nothing. Prostitution was doing nothing but bringing the broken in my heart.
Even more. After this, we're going to talk more about how then that pain drove you to a place of purpose. Stay with us. We'll be right back. To remember that you can find us on the DSTV audio bouquet channel 802. Also online is www.channelafrica.co.za, and you can join the conversation on social media. Our Twitter handle is @LivingLifeByDesign, and on Instagram it's @LivingLifeByDesign, where you get to see some of the stuff that we get up to in studio. And also join the family on Facebook. It's Living Life by Design, and today we are continuing our conversation with Nora Laini Salumu, who is the founder of Living Soul International Organization. Now, Nora, you had to get to a point where you make a decision that I'm not going to continue living my life like this. How did that switch come?
Great. That's the exciting side of you I was in my room and I was like, okay, Nora, Bona, you're not getting any joy, any happiness from all this drama. It's all about thinking about your family and not about yourself. It was hard to conclude that, listen, I have to now think about myself and not about my family. But it pained me more. So I had all those drugs in front of me and I slept off. When I slept off, I basically saw a man. Okay. I don't know.
Sort of a vision?
A vision. Okay. And this man, we were in a park. He was coming with 2 young ladies. A man and a lady, a young girl, right? And from far, this young girl was like, Nora, why are you crying? I was in the park with all this medication. I ignored the girl. I was like, okay, with me, is sharing your story to someone who has never felt what you felt is wasting your time. That's basically the advice I give out. What is the use if you've never tasted? What advice are you going to give me? Oh,
if
no.
you've never been through
Yes,
what I'm experiencing.
yes. Are you going to tell me now? You know, it's for me, it's just basically a waste of my time, because I'm just going to hear what I usually hear from other people, but you're never going to feel the pain. Till you feel the pain, then I will listen to you. Okay, that was me. So this young girl asked me, I ignored her. But this man, he was getting closer, and I felt the joy. I just felt my heart, I don't know, it was completely joy, but I could not see his face. I had to cover my face, because it was so light, very bright. And these are the exact word I caught. Nora, why are you crying? I took you from the ground and made you who you are today. Remember where I took you from. Remember. Those were his words. And when he said it all out, I popped out in tears. And he's like, come, my daughter. Come, my daughter. Look on your right-hand side. As I looked on my right-hand side, I saw a door. That door was so light. He opened. He's like, look. And when I saw inside that door, I saw the drug dealers. I saw girls selling their body. I basically saw my life through other people. Okay? Elderly being insulted by young, disrespectful. Young ladies doing abortion. I basically saw babies crying. So I was like, why are you showing me all this? It's like, I want you to go make the souls a living soul. Go restore what I've restored in you from now. I was walking, and it's like, I am behind you, my daughter. Go. I was walking. I turned back, the person had disappeared. I'm telling you.
And you woke up.
I woke up. The way I left my room to go outside, I don't know. I was so scared that it was a real thing to me. I ran out. I was shocked. Okay, the day passed. The following day, I'm supposed to write the exam. My life continued with prostitution because I had to finish my studies. I continued with my life, and end of the day, I failed my matric. When I failed my matric, I had studied. When you passed all your term, finally year, you just failed. Your name doesn't come out. My heart burst and said, God, what kind of rubbish is this? By the end of the day, I blamed myself because somehow I didn't study for the last final year. But I never gave up. But the question was, I need that national diploma, no matter what. But who's gonna sponsor me this time to school? Am I gonna continue the life I did to pay the school fees again? I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. But I had no choice. By this time, I had to do it professional way, with the connection I had with other previous guys that I would sleep with. And until one of them paid for my school fees.
When you say professional way, what do you mean?
As in, I was not with this Hebrew, it was all Satan guys.
Oh, okay. So you had to find another connection.
Yes.
Another pimp, so to speak.
Yes. So, till I figured my study finished past this time. But now, the following year, that was in 2016. 2016. The voice started blowing as if, when you I don't know how it feels to kill someone and start seeing that person's spirit, but this time you are listening to the voice loud and clear. Nora, I took you from the ground. I made you who you are. It was just popping in my mind every single time. As it was popping in my mind, I was exposed to this hobos. You'll find young ladies coming to share their story with me. And with me, it's not easy for me to speak. I'm a very who to speak to, how to speak to, where does my story go to. That's me. So advice with me, I don't give
it easily.
I don't. I use wisdom. I listen to your story, then I look for suggestion for you not to know till you discover that I was also in that footstep.
Okay. That's
me. So you find those young girls, they will come and I will just pour out in tears. So one day, I was like, I woke up, I told my dad I'm going to feed 250 people in Haniju. The first thing my dad would tell me, you are crazy. Here, you have never fed. Okay?
How are you going to manage to feed 250?
Here we even find it hard to buy bread. You want to go. Okay, so what are you going to give them? I'm going to buy 2 kg mini meal, full grocery, give it to them. My dad looked at me as a crazy person. It's like, it's a lie. People that I spoke to, they're like, ha, you are lying to yourself, Joe. I was like, okay. And indeed, also to myself, I'll say, yes, I'm lying to myself, because obviously sometimes we just speak of the sake of speaking.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even know how things will happen. I went back. I could not sleep. This voice just started coming to me. The following day, just with the connection, friendship, people that take me as their daughter. Hey, Nora, I had a vision that you should, don't you want to come with, this is what I caught. I had a vision, don't you want to come with me to organization? I will be going to feed some people there. I was like, okay, great. When Saturday came to pick me up, we went. I saw the way she was doing her things. Then she just started telling me, listen, I feel that we are called for this kind of a work. You know, with your life story, you always like helping, you know. Don't you want to make this a career? I was like, how can I make this a career? Yes, at the younger age, as much as I used to help my family, as much as I used to be a giver, you know, with me, my clothes, every end of the month, I would basically or literally take all my clothes, empty my wardrobe, give it out to orphanage. I will remain with 2 clothes the whole month. I was used to it. The way other clothes will come in, I don't know.
So it had to take the vision, the voice persisting, and some people that you spoke to push you to your purpose.
Yes.
And that's how we got to Living
Soul. Even the way it got registered, this lady was like, you know what, I gathered people, but where was the money going to get to? A friend she never said I would give you the money. I just told the last day, like the day of the event, message me, no, I have deposited $3,000 in your bank account. Go take it. And it was
really
not for the organization.
Take, a village to build something or even to raise a child, as they say. So it took other people as well to help you build the organization. Right after this, we'll pick up on that and wrap up. Welcome back to Life by Design. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. We're continuing our conversation right here in studio with Nora Laini Salumu. She is the founder of a Living Soul International Organization. Now, I did mention that Living Soul is headquartered in Johannesburg, South Africa, but it also operates in the DRC, in Malawi, and in Zimbabwe. And right now on the line, we are joined by someone who's very much involved in Living Soul organization in Zimbabwe, and his name is Justin. Hi, Justin. Welcome to Life by Design.
Hi, I'm quite fine. Hi, everybody.
Hi. We have Nora in studio, and of course, it is a surprise call. She wasn't expecting that we will be talking to you. So say hi, Nora.
Guys. Wow.
Justin, tell us about this young lady that we have in studio. How did you guys meet? Just briefly.
Oh, okay. In fact, I came to know of Nora through my young brother. They were on the same WhatsApp group, a Christian WhatsApp group, which is, on Christian values and so on. So they happened to talk, and then they realized that they shared the same interest in charity work. So that's how we came to in contact with her. Thereafter, my brother told me of her, and he introduced me to her. We talked, and that's how it all started, until we ended up joining hands and setting up Living Soul organization internationally in Zimbabwe.
So now you are Living Soul in Harare. How has it been since you started? How many people have you helped, if you can even number them, or how is the impact?
Oh, okay. I say that the impact has been tremendous. And since we started, in fact, maybe if I can answer the first part of your question, Nora came here last year in 2017 in November. 2018, in November, and we had a conference. So many people attended, or over 200 people were in attendance at the conference. She gave a keynote address. I will not dwell much on a keynote address, but that's when she came here, and how she introduced the organization to Zimbabwe. And our priority is working with people living with albinism, and but also includes the elderly the orphans and vulnerable children, as well as the elderly, also widows and widowers, so many marginalized groups in society. So those are the people that we are working with. And maybe to give statistics, since we started 5 months ago, hardly half a year old, now we have set up various different groups, and we have managed to assist so far people amongst our membership. We have people living with albinism numbering about 152 now, and also orphans and vulnerable children, about 98, and then the elderly, 46. We also have widows and widowers, 64, and then those with a disability outside people living with albinism, about 28.
You have been quite effective then in Harare. Any plan of extending to other parts of Zimbabwe?
Yes, we have already started expanding our programs to other parts of the country. So far, just last week on the 30th of March, we were in Mashonaland West. This is outside Harare. Harare, because it's a province on its own, it's one of the 10 provinces in Zimbabwe. So we moved to Mashonaland West in a place called Nyabira. And we've been outreach there, assisting all these different people, giving them clothes and so on, feeding them, and the impact is growing. And we are now in Harare province as well as Mashonaland West. Our intention is to move to Mash East, Mashingo, and Mashonaland Central.
And all this, Justin, through the vision of someone who experienced, a life that wasn't so easy and decided to extend herself and reach out to other people. Thank you so much, you guys, for the work that you're doing in Zimbabwe.
You're welcome.
Nora, how does that make you feel? To say that here you were living your life and you went through the tragedies that you went through. Did you even think that it would have this impact? I mean, this is just one person that we spoke to who is in Zimbabwe. I don't know the impact that is in the DRC, the impact that is in Malawi. How does that make you feel? Do you, after all, say it was all worth it as much as it was painful?
Yes. For me, it's a way of communicating. Saying, if I'm able to overcome it, I can help someone overcome it. It's not about, okay, I know your pains, all that. Don't worry, it's worthy it. No, it's all about, come, let's do it together. Come, let's journey it together. Let's try it this time in a different way. So seeing that it's really just that, God bless you from the Zimbabwe side of you. Cover it. Move forward. And for that one that says, listen, I've closed the chapter and I'm moving forward. Good. Close the chapter and look tomorrow.
Use your experience to change a life.
That's the only way.
Use your experience
to change,
to lead you to your purpose.
Yes, and you will. If you have failed to overcome it, trust me, your story can make a huge difference out there. Not just by telling. Don't look for pity. I'm sorry. No. Use that life to say, listen, I've overcome this. Let me do it with you. So it's, young ladies out there that are going through the same thing that I went through. The secret is closing your chapter. Look at your tomorrow.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's very powerful. This has been Life by Design on Channel Africa, the African Perspective. Let's connect on Facebook, Living Life by Design, on Twitter at Living Life by Design, as well as on Instagram at Living Life by Design. You can also catch us on Channel 802 on the DSTV audio bouquet. Otherwise, the podcast is available on our website, and you can also get us via live stream. It's Channel Africa, www.channelafrica.co.za. We'll be playing out with a song by Kajanin Walewatu. Till next time.